And welcome back to another video on the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at question 1 from the 2020 external exam for math methods paper 2, multiple choice. Now, as you would have noticed with all the videos on the channel, I've started splitting them up into individual videos. That way you can pretty much, if you don't struggle with certain types of questions, you can go watch those ones in certain videos rather than sit through the full exam waiting for that question to pop up. And it also allows me to go into a bit more depth on each question. Now, if you guys need a methods external exam bundle pack, the link is in the description below to get your download. Otherwise, let's just get straight into this video here. And if you have any questions or leave something in the comments. So this one here is a technology question. The limit of 12 to the power of h minus 1 over h as h approaches 0 is closest to. So, obviously, the big problem here is if you chuck in 0 here. So you'll get 12 to the power of 0 minus 1 over 0. So effectively you get now 12 to the power of 0 is 1. So you get 1 minus 1 over 0, and then you get 1 minus 1, which is 0 over 0. Now even if even if there wasn't a 0 on the top, the big problem is the fact there's a 0 on the bottom, which is undefined at the moment. Which means this limit, we can't work it out just by plugging in h is equal to 0. So what that means is we have to kind of think around this. So here, as h approaches 0. So what we can think of here is, alright, what if we chuck in numbers very close to 0? So like let's say h equals 0.001, something like that. Now here, this is pretty much where you would need your calculator, because you wouldn't be able to work out stuff like this by hand very effectively and quickly. You probably could, but it would take a bit. Like chucking in a small number like this, let's see what the value gets. So it won't give you 0 exactly just because it's so small. However, it will allow us to work out roughly, where this thing is sitting pretty much. Okay, so if I just chuck this into my calculator, this gives us around 2.48 roughly. Okay, now we can see that matches very close to C. Now what I'm going to do to make sure that's probably the closest is chuck in a very smaller value as well, because I'm not going to go off straight at the first value because we've only moved it a couple decimal places. So now I would check like 0 point, and I'll put like maybe 5 zeros there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I chuck in that value now, and if it's close to that still, I would chuck in, C is the correct answer then. So 12, 0 point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I would see what this number would give as well. And if it doesn't give something close to that, then I know I'm roughly around the wrong spot. Now here it gives us exactly around 2.48 still, so yes, the correct answer here would be C. Okay. If you had any questions with this one, this falls under, I think, the start of differentiation pretty much. You don't have to explicitly do limits really like this too much. However, this idea should still be familiar with you guys if you've studied differentiation in a bit of detail. If you need a question similar to this, I think there's one in my external exam bundle pack that's in the link in the description below. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you had any questions at all, leave something in the comments.